Well, we're getting a new Switch Pro this year. Well, you know it.
Yeah, but it's not Nintendo Switch Pro. It's Alienware, baby.
Yeah, so maybe we should just look at the tweet. Are they gonna have it here? No. Boop. No. Anyway, Alienware has this freaking Windows tablet. It's a concept right now, so it's not legit yet.
Yeah.
But it's at CES, which I wish I was there.
Yeah.
They call it the UFO. It's a Windows tablet that runs games. It looks very large, and its controllers are very Switch-like in that they attach and detach just like a Switch does, and it even comes with its own little Joy-Con grip. Can you believe it?
I can believe it.
This article is very long. Essentially a gaming PC in a tiny form factor with removable controllers. This is via Tech Radar, who has a whole review on this. If you want to read more, you can just look it up on Tech Radar. The project UFO is banking on the massive library of games that Windows 10 has to offer to stand out in the portable space. However, because it's heavy and will probably be extremely expensive, we're not quite sure who is going to be after this device. We do know one thing, though. It's really freaking cool. That's according to Tech Radar. It has the stand is the entire back.
Yeah.
And it looks like a Switch from the back, except for the little hexagonal little nodes.
Yeah.
Price and availability. Because this is just a concept, we don't know when the Alienware concept UFO will see the light of day. If it does, in fact, see the light of day, or how much it will cost. We honestly wouldn't be surprised if this device didn't launch until 2021. As for the price, because it's such a unique product that's packed with RGB lighting and sophisticated PC hardware. Yeah, RGB. It's got RGB.
Of course it is.
I don't know where. Sophisticated PC hardware, you should expect to pay a pretty penny for the concept UFO. This isn't exactly a direct Nintendo Switch competitor. I think it's cutting it close. Still, for anyone that loves the idea of Nintendo Switch but wishes that it had a little more power and the massive library that PC offers, this price well be worth it. May well be worth it. They go on a lot more into details. Yeah. There's the friggin' thing detaching. It looks just like a friggin' Joy-Con.
I wouldn't necessarily say this is a Switch competitor. You can definitely make the argument it is a Switch knockoff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot more specialty because it's not going to run. It's not as easy as just dumping a game in it and playing it, or downloading a game off the eShop.
I compare it to the difference between an NES Classic and a pre-made Raspberry Pi.
Yes.
That runs. Yeah. Yes, they both do similar things. Yes, one is proprietary and one is more open, but average Joe consumer who doesn't want to spend a lot of money is going to get the NES Classic, and that will probably sell more compared to the more specialty thing that's really only for hardcore collectors and hardcore gamers.
I'd go a step further and say that it's a Raspberry Pi with, the Pi OS and nothing else.
Yeah.
Because this is just going to have Windows on it.
Yeah, you have to provide your own games.
Yeah, and, as opposed to just getting a Nintendo Switch where you could just go on the eShop and download whatever game. And you could say, just download Steam and then get... Yeah, but there's extra steps.
Yeah.
Also, this thing's going to be like $1,000. There's no way this thing's going to be
also, there's no guarantee that it's going to run everything on Steam.
Correct.
It might be more powerful than the Switch, but that doesn't mean it's going to be able to run like Shadow of the Tomb Raider at full spec or whatever.
Underscore just DM'd me? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Jessica Chobot playing it on Instagram. Oh, he just sent me a screenshot of Jessica Chobot playing it. Can I mute this? Oh, you know what? It doesn't look that big. It really doesn't look that big. It's bigger than a Switch. Also, I think Tech Radar said that it looks like a 720p screen. So it's a bigger screen than the Switch, but it's still 720, which is bizarre to me.
I mean, it's still probably a bigger screen, but it's, because you can get, I have two 4K TVs and they're both different sizes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah.
But I mean, if you're going to have a bigger screen and you're trying to knock off the Switch and you're a PC that's knocking off the Switch, why not just make it 1080p? Like
That's true.
This is Dell technically.
Yeah.
Displays should be super cheap for them. But I guess it's because the power involved, it's lower powered if it's 720.
Yeah.
But at least have the option,
Mm-hmm.
I said $1,000. I'm gonna say $800.
I thought you were gonna say 2,000.
No. I'll say $800 is like a reasonable price for something like this.
Yeah.
Also, they didn't say anything about specs, so we don't know what specs this thing has.
Right.
But they were demoing World War Z, and they were demoing the Division 2. And the people who played it said that both of those ran pretty well. The minimum system requirements for World War Z are an i5 750 or an i3 530 or an AMD Phenom 2 X4. I'm out of the PC world. I don't even know what any of this means. 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is pretty low. Windows 7. AMD 240 gigabyte video card or an NVIDIA 2 gigabyte Intel HD 530. That's pretty low. And at least 20 gigabytes of hard drive space. And for the Division 2, shut the hell up. The Division 2 minimum, it says 1080p. For 1080p, 30 frames. So I guess that's probably around 720, 60 frames. Minimum, Windows 7. AMD FX 6350 for the CPU and Intel i5. So this thing probably has to have at least an i5 in it.
Yeah.
An i3 would be crazy. That's so old by now, right? Am I out of touch?
Well, it's hard because, for example, the Division requires an Intel i5 2500K, but World War Z says i5 750. So there's different types of i5s.
Well, I'm saying that we got to go with the lowest common denominator. If it runs both of these games well, then it's got the lower. It could have at least the lowest spec of these two games.
Right, I get that, but I'm saying just because it has an i5 doesn't mean it's the same i5 as everyone else.
Right. The minimum requirement of the Division says VRAM 2 gigabytes and DirectX 11. So take that what you will. I think this thing is going to be decently powerful. I think it's got to be less than 1,000 in order for people to actually want it.
Yeah.
And the RGB it looks like it's in like the thumbsticks. So that's a weird thing. It's cool.
I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise that people are going to want to try and emulate the Switch.
It feels dirty, doesn't it?
I think it just feels dirty because this is so similar.
Yeah, well, it's like
there's nothing different about it.
Nintendo went out of their way to innovate in this way. Mm-hmm. The only other company that was doing it was Game Vice. Yeah. And that really wasn't, the way to go.
Yeah.
This is a Game Vice for anybody who wants to see that. But this slots in the same way. It's like exactly the same thing as a Switch.
Yeah.
And Razer has the Jungle Cat, which is also very similar.
Yeah.
That's this guy right here. And this slots in pretty similar to a Nintendo Switch. But you know what sucks is that I'm going to have to get this thing. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
Going to have to get it and make a video on it and then break it in half and never touch it again.